When the movie A Flower Drum Song came out in 1961, it did phenomenally well. The whole look and feel of Flower Drum Song is in some ways indicative of the best of Hollywood and Hollywood musicals at that time.
One of the successes of the film is that they made it look so beautiful. This is essentially a story that takes place in people's middle-class living rooms. There's not much that's theatrical exciting, and yet they were able to find beautiful production qualities. Bye-bye. They made a wonderful use of San Francisco Chinatown.
One of the fun things about Flower Drum Song is to try to match the real Chinatown with the studio Chinatown. The set work and the set design, they really make you feel like you're in Chinatown when really you're on a lot somewhere in Universal. And then it's very clever about where it takes you to the real Chinatown. The port scenes at the beginning, which seem so sort of frightening and overwhelming. There's a wonderful scene where Linda Lo and Wang Ta go to some hill overlooking the bay, which is so beautiful. So I think they were pretty smart in using San Francisco as one of the film's main characters.
I feel like the settings of the movie, the art direction, the set design, really place Chinese Americans in kind of three basic locales. You have the American world, which is represented as pretty glamorous and fun. I mean, it's a very kind of Hollywood version of it. Then you have Asian Americans in more kind of traditional settings, the most notable of those being Wang's house. And then you have the kind of presentational settings, whether it's the nightclub or Grant Avenue itself, the scene where you have the Chinatown New Year's Parade. And taken all together, they present a kind of whole world. And I think that's how the set design and the art direction really contribute to the overall theme of the movie, at least from a Chinese American point of view.
The sets were very authentic. They used authentic furniture and a lot of, like that bed, that beautiful bed that the father slept in. Oh, that was a fabulous bed. I think that came from an antique shop here. But Ross Hunter had very exquisite taste, and he always put a lot of effort into whatever he did, and he certainly did for Flower Drum Song. He brought everything together. It was seamless. The music, the dancing, the sets, as you say, the costumes, and just everything came together well.
To any designer, be it costume sets or in the theater lighting, to have a show like Flower Drum Song is a gift, because obviously you have a whole Asian world to make reference to, but you also have an America in the 50s. The style that Irene Sharaf took on for the film, is exactly that.
Well, she captured that. She brought the East and West together. The costumes were Asian theme, but they were also kind of Western, like the pants. We had to do a lot of knee turns and things on the Grant Avenue number, and so we needed flexible clothing that you could move. I had this thing on my head with the big bomb, and I said to Irene, I said, do you think I can work with that? She said, sure. So it was a combination of East and West, and I thought that was great.
There are as many dresses that sort of look like, Petula Clark's about to sing a song in them, in cinched waists and sort of slightly puffy Annette Funicello kind of dresses, as there are these wonderful, authentic Chinese-influenced robes, and this one wonderful headdress, and there's a wonderful image of when she peers through the headdress. So I just think it's a designer's delight to be able to have such a colorful and rich world to make reference to.
A lot of people criticize costume is too old-fashioned, but I think the period of the story is that period. In China, in those days, a lot of people wear embroidered gowns and also satin, silk gowns. So that's the reason I say some of the criticism is a little overdone.
Hammerstein used American San Franciscan Chinatown as a place to go to look back on American culture, because it really is a story about America. It happens to be told about this Chinese family that lives in America.
One of the most amazing things about Flower Drum Song are the watercolors at the beginning and the opening titles by Don Kingman. They're so delicate and they're so colorful and they're so framed through a particular perspective that you just get the feeling you're on the journey with Mei Li and her father.
You are taken from China traveling across the ocean to America. And then finally, when they get to the Golden Gate Bridge, the watercolor melts away and you actually see a shot of the Golden Gate Bridge. And in the orchestration, you hear a trombone, a jazzy trombone soar up out of the music that's been playing. It's a wonderful, wonderful moment in the film.
No expense was clearly spared, whether they were on a back lot or they were in San Francisco or they were hiring Don Kingman to do drawings over the titles. It makes a great deal of sense for the art direction of this film to be so celebrated. It's such a rich period, it's such a rich time. Clearly, they just went all out to make an authentic contemporary musical story that was so wonderfully of its time that when we look at it today, we can only smile at recognition of what America was like at the end of the 50s and the early 60s, especially San Francisco.